Okay, my dear students, hi again. In this time, I am going to help you with the development of the activities in the workbook. And remember that this is a video for my students from the Language Center, English 1, in the morning and in the afternoon. Okay, so let's go to Unit 5 and let me check the page that we are. Okay, this is page 20. And I am going to help you with the development of these exercises, okay? Very good. So let's start with the grammar part. Number 1, write the simple past forms of the irregular verbs. Letter A is already down for you, so I am going to help you with the second one. Letter A says ask, and the past is asked. Remember that you already know how to pronounce this one, okay? Very good. So let's start with this. Letter B, call, and I am going to help you with this. In the past is called. Okay, so the style, I am going to do it a bit smaller, and I am going to very good. I think it is okay. So let's do it like this. And let's move this. Yes, very good. This is it. Call, called. Let's continue with letter C. Love, loved. Let's practice this pronunciation. Love, loved. Okay, very good. So let's move this one. We are going to move this text in this part, and we are going to continue with this. Okay, so let's delete this. Excuse me. We were with loved, and we are going to do it again. And in this case, we can move this in here. Love. Very good. Pay attention to this. Letter D. Let's continue with letter D. Want, and the right form to do this could be wanted. Remember the pronunciation. Wanted. This is the right pronunciation for this. Okay? Wanted. You already know how to pronounce this. Let's review. Called, loved, wanted. Okay, let's continue with this one. Play becomes played. Okay. Work becomes worked. Worked. Okay. And study becomes studied. Studied. Okay, very good. Let's continue with watch. Watch becomes watched. Watched. Very good. Let's continue with this one. Start becomes, how do you pronounce this? ¿Cómo pronuncian este verbo? Recuerden que en este momento estamos practicando la pronunciación. Recuerden que si termina en un sonido sonoro, se pronuncia como D. En el caso de call, called, love, loved. Y que si termina en un sonido sordo, se pronuncia como T. En el caso de work, se pronunciaría worked. Y si termina en D o T, simplemente pronunciamos id, como en el caso de started, wanted. Okay, very good. So let's continue with this one. And the last one, it is going to be for stop. Remember in this one, stop. Remember that in here we need to duplicate the letter P. Okay? And the pronunciation is stopped. Stopped. Okay? Very good. So let's continue with this. Number 2. Let's move on. Number 2. It says Choose a verb from exercise 1 to complete each sentence. Yesterday I studied these regular verbs. Okay, this is past. Remember that yesterday means past and the verb is in the past. In this part, you need to choose any of the verbs in exercise 1. Aquí en este punto ustedes pueden escoger cualquiera de estos verbos para tratar de completar el punto número 2. Recuerden que cualquiera de esos verbos les puede servir, pero tengan en cuenta que sea coherente, que la oración que ustedes vayan a escoger, que el verbo que vayan a escoger sea coherente para la oración que ustedes tienen. For example, in here, in this part, we have this connecting word. Tenemos esta palabra que nos ayuda. Connecting words. Great movie, movie on TV. Esto nos ayuda a conectar con el verbo. ¿Cuál verbo? Watch. Okay, but it is in past, so we are going to choose this one. So in this part, the right verb is we watched a great movie on TV last night. Nosotros miramos una gran película o una película genial en la televisión la noche pasada. Pay attention in here. We have the time expressions last night, yesterday. Okay, that means past. Let's continue with C. Carol, when you were out. Carol called, you can say this, called. Carol llamó cuando estuviste fuera. Okay. Let's continue now with this one. Called when you were out. Remember that this is past. Okay. Carol called when you were out. Carola llamó cuando tú estabas fuera. Let's continue with letter D. You're late. The movie 10 minutes ago. ¿Cuál podría ser ese verbo? Vamos acá arriba y miremos, ¿ok? Take a second to choose the right verb. Tómense un tiempo y revisen cuál podría ser el verbo correcto. Ok, I am going to help you. You're late. The movie, yes, the movie started. The movie started. Very good. The movie started 10 minutes ago. La película inició hace 10 minutos. Let's continue with letter E. Brad always wanted. You have this verb in here, wanted. Brad always wanted to be a doctor. Brad always wanted to be a doctor. Letter F. You a good game of tennis last week. So the answer is play. You played. Okay. You played a good game of tennis last week. Tú jugaste un buen partido de tenis la semana pasada. Okay, very good. In this part, I am not going to take too long because I have already created another video in order to teach you the irregular verbs. Okay, en esta sección no me voy a tardar mucho porque ya he creado otro video en el cual les explicaré una forma muy creativa de aprenderse los verbos irregulares. Lo pueden averiguar. Okay, very good. So this is be, was, were, break. The past form is broke. Okay, good. We have in here came, and the present form is come. Very good. We have do, and the past form in here is, okay, let me check. It is and the past is dead. Let's do it a little bit smaller. Very good. And in here we have this one. For the verb had in past, we have the verb have or has in present. Okay? Pay attention to this. That's it. Very good. And for the verb say, we have said. Remember the pronunciation. Said. Okay. So good. Okay, let's continue now with saw. We have this verb in here, and in present is see. So good. Let's continue now with the verb sold, and we have this verb in here. Remember, do you remember the way? Yes, sell. It is quite similar to the verb tell. Es muy parecido al verbo tell. Sit. We already have this one. Sat. The past form is sat. Okay. And for take, the past form is took. Okay. Excellent. Very good. So these are the answers that we have for this point. Point number 3. Okay. Excellent. Very good. So now we are going to continue with this. Continuemos con esto. Write questions with when was the last time you. Escriban preguntas con la frase when was the last time you. ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que tú? Ok, y aquí vamos a organizar. A. Go to the movies. ¿Cuándo fue? When was the last time you went to the movies? ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que fuiste a ver películas o que fuiste al cine? So let's continue with this one in here. Letter B. Read a book. So we are going to write the answer in here. When was, remember the first letter is capital letter. When was the last time? You, remember this one, read a book. Okay, so we are going to do it bigger in order, and we can have this one. Oh my god, I think I need to, yes, I have missing something. So for that reason, no, I'm not going to delete it, but I'm going to write, yes, I am missing this one. Excellent. When was the last time you read a book? ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que tú leíste un libro? Okay. Letter C. Let's continue with letter C. When was, okay. Remember, the first one is capital letter, la primera mayúscula. When was the last time you, el pasado de wear es wore in blue, que tú te vestiste de azul, question mark. Okay, very good. So let's organize this one. Okay, very good. This is the answer. When was the last time you wore in blue? ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que te vestiste de azul? And letter D. Let's do letter D. When was the last time you, miren, aquí está el verbo lose, pero tenemos que poner en pasado, lost. When was the last time you lost something? And the question mark. Remember, don't forget to include the question mark. Okay? Yes, and this is the answer. And in point number 5, en el punto número 5, you are going to write answers to these questions. Van a escribir respuestas a estas preguntas. Okay? For example, for letter B, we have this question. When was the last time you read a book? For example, in this case, in my case, the last time that I read a book was yesterday. Yesterday, I read a book. Okay, this is it. Yesterday, I read a book. And you are going to continue with the answers for the questions letter C and letter D. Okay, and we are going to finish with this one. 6. Complete the text using the simple past form of the verbs. En esta parte vamos a completar esta historia con el pasado de los verbos, ok, el pasado simple. Let's continue with this one. So let's start. Aquí nosotros tenemos en cada espacio que vamos a completar, tenemos el verbo entre paréntesis, pero está en presente. Nuestro deber, nuestra tarea es que pasemos estos verbos a pasado. Recuerden que pueden ser tanto verbos regulares, que son los que terminan en ed, o pueden ser irregulares, que son los que cambian. Okay, so let's continue with this. Jacques Cousteau was born in France. Miren, aquí tenemos el verbo to be, que es presente, pero en pasado para singular es was. Was born in France. In 1910, when he was 26, he, ¿cuál era el pasado de has? Ok, el pasado de has, en este caso es had. Ok, ¿listo? El pasado de has es had. Had a terrible car accident and was badly hurt. Cuando él tenía 26 años tuvo un terrible accidente automovilístico y fue herido muy fuertemente. Every day he, el pasado de swim es, do you remember? Yes, swam. Very good, this is it. Swam to make his body strong. Cada día él nadaba para hacer su cuerpo más fuerte. Let's continue. He, el pasado de love is, yes, loved. He loved. Very good. Swimming and diving in the sea. Él amaba nadar y hacer clavados en el mar. In the Second World War, costó en la Segunda Guerra Mundial work. What is the answer in here? Work. What is the past for work? Yes, worked. Worked. Good. The past tense for work is worked. Remember the pronunciation. Worked. Very good. Let's continue now with 6. At the same time, he and a friend invent. What is the past? Invented. Okay, very good. Invented. He and his friend invented the first aqualung, the equipment we use for scuba diving. Este es como el equipo de buceo que nosotros utilizamos para esa actividad. Okay. After the war, he explored. Remember the pronunciation. He explored. Okay, very good. The oceans. He even, remember the past for has is had. Yes, this is it. Had. Okay, I'm going to organize this. After the war, he explored the ocean. He even had his own submarine. Después de la guerra, él exploró los océanos. Incluso, él tenía su propio submarino. Costó, what is the past for make? This is irregular. Made. Yes, this is the past. Okay, very good. Made many films about his adventure underwater. Cousteau hizo muchas películas acerca de sus aventuras bajo el agua. 3 of them be, the verb to be. What is the past? But it is plural. Remember that it is plural. Tengan en cuenta que el verbo to be en este caso es plural. So the answer is were. Yes. Were so good. 3 of them were so good. Las 3 de ellas fueron muy buenas. They win. El verbo ganar. Win. The past is won. They won Oscars. Very good. He, the verb write in past is wrote. He wrote. Very good. Él escribió. ¿Qué escribió él? He wrote over 50 books and made over 120 TV programs. Él escribió más de 50 libros e hizo más de 120 programas de televisión. Okay? And let's finish with this. His work showed, and this is the verb, showed the world the beauty of the ocean. Su trabajo mostró la hermosura del océano al mundo. Okay, so this is the end of this part of the workbook. So thank you so much for being in this class. Bye bye.